On this beautiful afternoon, and thank God it looks like the weather's cooperating. It's cooling down a little bit. Thank you. The Nevada County Concert Band celebrates its 51st performing season as a county-wide band with historical roots through local city-based community bands that date back to the 1850s. Please check out the QR code located on the music stand over there by the old Ford, and which lets you see today's program if you scan it. However, paper copies of the program are also available. If you don't have one, we can get you one. Also, there are bathrooms available back by the tennis court, so we please ask that you refrain from coming backstage, reserving that area for the performers' use only. Please welcome to the stage our conductor, Cheryl Woldseth. The band will now play a Civil War arrangement of the Star-Spangled Banner, as written in 1861 for the 3rd New Hampshire Infantry Regiment's Port Royal Band. Please join us as we honor our country. Here's our conductor, Cheryl Woldseth, to tell you about today's program.
Yes. All right, our theme today is going places. This can mean traveling, and in the process, learning something new about a place or about yourself. As Mark Twain put it, I have found out there ain't no surer way to find out whether you like people or you hate them than to travel with them. Well, going places can also mean achieving something, especially when a difficult change surprises you by actually making things better. Kurt Vonnegut Jr. said it best when he said this: I want to stay as close to the edge as I can without going over. Out on the edge, you see all kinds of things you can't see from the center. So today, between musical numbers, a few of our musicians are going to tell personal stories about going places and how it has made a difference in their lives.
So let's start off this concert with a wonderful and uplifting fanfare called Flourish for Wind Band. Sometimes it's the journey that teaches you a lot about your destination. Let's hear from John Furtado in the trumpet section to tell us about a college trip that still affects his outlook on life.
Good afternoon, good evening. My name is John Furtado, and I'd like to tell you about a band trip to Europe when I was in college. In 1975, my college symphonic band, Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo, was invited to be the university band at the Vienna International Youth and Music Festival. This was this country buckin's first trip out of the country on a plane and out of the country for 4 weeks. Along with 2 other U.S. high school bands, we participated with community bands from all over Europe and the Middle East. Besides playing in Austria, we also played in towns in Germany as well. Everywhere we went, when they found out we were a band, they wanted us to play in their towns, squares, and outdoor spaces, sometimes looking over our shoulders and wanting even to hold our music for us when it got a little windy. The appreciation for our music was everywhere. Some of the groups even spent up to 20 minutes signing autographs for some of the overeager audiences. At that time, when fewer nations spoke English as much as they do today, we all had the common language of music that brought us together.
Sorry, folks, we're gonna pick up the story midstream here.
So rewinding, as I was saying, I remember returning from the trip and the experience, thinking how we all got along so well during the festival and our travels, and thinking, why can't we all get along outside of our common interest of music? I made numerous friends from Sweden and Austria who are still my friends today, and we all since have visited each other's homes, all under the common interest of music and playing in our community and school bands.
Thank you, John. Next, we're going to hear a march by another trumpet player named T. Fred Henry, who started out touring with bands, orchestras, and several theater companies and circuses. In 1904, he started his own band in his home state of Iowa, performing at many civic engagements, including 9 seasons at the Des Moines Auto Show. I'm sure he wrote this next song to perform at that early 1900s racetrack. This is Auto Triumphal. please turn your attention over to the percussion section, where we will hear a story from Miles Mason about a certain German lady that made quite an impression.
Crazy how the mic works better when you turn it on. Hello, everyone. My name is Miles Mason. I've been here for a long while, and it's such a pleasure to be back for this invitational. Thank you, the band, for having us. I had the great pleasure a year ago now, which is wild, of going to Europe to study abroad for a year in France, which is funny because I'm not going to tell you a story about France. I'm going to tell you a story about Germany. So one of the great pleasures of my time out in Germany was the beer. Incredible, incredible beer. And we had, me and a friend, Chase, had a great pleasure of going to a beer garden in the middle of Berlin, which was incredible, the best dark beer I've ever had in my life. When I got in there, I wanted to hold the beer like the Germans, so we ordered 12 beers, 6 in each hand, and I carried them around like a Bavarian, and the Germans loved that. So this old German lady, probably 90, honestly, started talking to me about my experiences and stuff, and she barely spoke any English, but we made it work. Her son translated a lot of it, and we had a great conversation. We had a great time, and at about 9:30, 10 o'clock, she had to go, and we stayed, but we all said goodbye, and she finally looked at us and was like, "Where are you from?" And me and my friend looked at her and we said, "Oh, we're from America." And she said, "Ah, yes, good old Americans." And pinched my cheek, pat Chase on the shoulder, and then left. And now, whenever I'm feeling down or sad that I have to go to my 7-hour shift at work, I just remember that I'm a good old American, and it gets me through the day.
Good old Americans. Let's have some fun with this next number. Listen for the circus clowns as they are going places all at once, each striving for your attention. It's Parade of the Clowns. Gary from the Roamin Angels to come up, please. Gary, are you here? There he is. So today from the Roamin Angels have graciously provided some of their classic cars in the back on display for everybody to go check out. So here's Gary from the club to tell a little bit more about what they're doing.
Thank you, and thank you for the band for inviting us. We've done this a few times over the years when we get the word that you're going to be doing something special. We enjoy being here. We are a club that has been in existence since 1962, right here in town. We're one of the oldest original car clubs in California. That's quite a deal. We have our two original presidents and 5 original members. So we got a lot of history in this thing. And what we're doing this year is we're changing from the fairgrounds for our big show that we've had for many years. We're going to be over here on the Nevada City Tech Center. We're going to be in there with the Nevada Classic Cars, which that little comment that just pulled up. She's part of the Classic Cars operation back there. So we really appreciate you guys keeping an eye out for us. We'd love to see you. We hope for about 300 or more cars, classic cars, race cars, and a lot of people coming for spectators. So again, thanks to the band for having us, and we appreciate it.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you so much. So when everything goes according to plan, it's a trip. When things go wrong, it's an adventure. Some of the most memorable trips were ones that turned into adventures. So stick out your thumb and flag down a taxi at Tijuana Taxi. Let's go for a ride.
Hey, Jim over there in the Model T, can you make the horn go, please? All right, while he's getting ready, I want to introduce the band to you. There it is. I knew he could do it. One more time if you can. Make that ooh. Oh yeah. All right, we have basically 2 bands here. The first band that is here today is your host band. The Nevada County Concert Band members, would you please stand? So there are 57 in this group. Good, have a seat, please. Every July we invite off-season bands because we're one of the few, if not the only one, that plays concert bands all summer. Most of them play according to the school calendar. And so these guys are off-season and I can catch them to come down and have a day with us. Now this morning we met in the picnic grove and we had a big rehearsal, and these are registered guests that have been working with me on email. We've all had the music in advance. Would you please greet all of our guest musicians? Would you please stand up? There are 56 of them. Yes. They are also wearing the shirts or outfits from their home band if they could, and that's pretty cool. The farthest away we had was one member who came all the way from Wichita, Kansas.
As Amy Poehler was quoted to say, "Find a group of people who challenge and inspire you. Spend a lot of time with them, and it will change your life forever." And for a quote from a Disney film that is celebrating its 100th anniversary this year, "Heigh-Ho, Heigh-Ho, it's off to work we go."
My name is Jeanette Beebe. I'm a guest musician here, and I want to tell you a story. In January, my husband and I took a missionary trip to Argentina. We were staying at a foster home for children ages 0 to 18. There was about 60 children there. I taught 10 girls and young ladies how to sew pajamas and simple skirts. My husband taught carpentry to 5 boys, each making a simple toolbox and then painting them. From Argentina, we left for a cruise to Antarctica. The Drake Passage was rough, and we used patches behind the ear to avert seasickness. Once we got to the peninsula, the sailing was pretty smooth, and we did a lot of landings. There were lots of penguins, seals, whales, orcas, and glaciers were spectacular and everywhere you looked. The temperature ranged from 32 to 38 degrees. Our cruise was an expedition, and as such, we were not bound by any particular schedule or landing plan. When the weather turned bad, the captain and crew decided to go where no cruise ship had gone before, the south side of the Antarctic Peninsula. We got to cruise among hundreds of humpback whales, going very slow so as not to hit one. We were able to go there because the ice shelves had collapsed due to climate change, and the ship was able to get through. Our final destination was Christensen Nonotuck Island. My husband Chris and I have now been to all 7 continents and crossed both the Arctic and the Antarctic circles. And it has been great, especially because what was unexpected turned out to be some of the best parts.
Thank you for that story, Jeanette. Our next piece is called Oblivion, a word that means to be unaware of what is happening, like being in a dream world. Please welcome our oboe soloist, Rebecca Sages Ball.
Hello. My name is Wendy Underwood. My favorite name to be called is Grammy Wendy. I ran away from home in 7th grade because I wanted to quit clarinet. However, while living in Florida, my band teacher took me under her wing and after school taught me private lessons. By my sophomore year, I sat solo chair in the best high school band in the state, 292 kids, and we just got picked to play in the Cotton Bowl parade. Then my parents moved us to Galt, California. There were only 20 kids in the Galt High School band playing songs that I played in junior high. I cried after school every day. Band, clarinet was my life. It had been a balm to this aching soul as I navigated my way through trauma I had experienced growing up. When I played in a group, it felt like the music cradled my soul and would bind my wounds the eye could not see. And here I sat in a new place, alone, and no one to play the notes I had so taken for granted. And then I got a letter that changed everything. My band director at Galt High School was Jim Spratt, and he submitted my name to audition for an elite program called America's Youth in Concert. We worked on my audition tape. Only a few from each state were chosen, and I was one of them, from Galt no less. That was the summer of my junior year, and I was 17. We practiced on our own, we rehearsed in New York for 4 days, and played a concert at Carnegie Hall. I can still remember the smell of the hallway walking down and looking at the pictures of the old musicians on the wall. Then we went on tour, performing in prestigious venues. We went to London, Paris, Austria, Switzerland, Florence, Venice, and Rome. Every concert was sold out. We always began with the Stars and Stripes Forever and ended with the Battle Hymn of the Republic. No matter the country, the people, the language spoken, people would stand with tears streaming down their faces, singing Glory, Glory, Hallelujah. It didn't matter our differences, or that we'd never even met, because music is the universal language. We were united. We were one in spirit, one in hope, one in goodness. I'm 61 now. That musical experience changed me and provided me with solid ground that I could always hold on to. I've stayed in Galt. It is my home. My oldest daughter, Katie, who is in the audience with her family, plays clarinet and met her now husband Andon while playing clarinet in junior high. And now their daughter, Camilla, plays clarinet too. My youngest daughter, Madeline, is playing clarinet in the band with me tonight. Music saved her as well. This is the first time that she and I have ever played together in an organized band. Last year, I joined the Elk Grove Community Band after 40 years of not playing in a group. The minute I played those first notes, I was flooded with that feeling only a musician knows, of music surrounding you, vibrating the floor, and flowing through your body up and out through an instrument connected to you, to life, to the world. It is a pure joy that you have to experience to fully understand. I think back to my younger self, that girl in her room with the clarinet crying every day. Little did she know that one move to tiny Galt would take her to places much bigger. A European tour, a musical family, a town she loves. But the best place of all is time and time again, the clarinet brings her back to herself. And when she plays, she's home.
Thank you, Wendy. That was a wonderful story. After hearing that story, Wendy, I think every one of us on stage, and many too in the audience, can all relate. We are your band family, and we welcome home to you too. So let's celebrate now with a medley that will get you up and dancing, called Jump, Jive, and Swing. Charles Mason, everybody. The Nevada County Concert Band is a nonprofit organization, and now it's time for you to show how much you enjoy our concerts. Please check the QR code located on the music stand over here, which lets you see today's program on your phone. You can also make a donation using the links provided there. And speaking of donations, our host band's clarinet section will be panning for your donations. So those with paper programs, the blue ones, you can use your QR code to scan on your phone and make a donation online, or and use the website link. Any amount is much appreciated. Also, there are bathrooms available by the tennis courts. We ask that you please refrain from coming backstage, leaving that for the band use only. The band will now take a 15-minute intermission. Please welcome back to the stage our conductor, Cheryl Woldseth. And before I get going, I want to make a quick correction to the donation panners. It was not the clarinet section, it was the bassoons, the euphoniums, and the trombone players. So big thanks to those people for getting those donations. Thank you. So today's concert theme is Going Places. And we carry the tradition of our hometown concert band since 1861, as various city-based bands and later combining into the Nevada County Concert Band in 1971. You can read more about our band's colorful past on the website under the Heritage link. So let's start off the second half with a theme from the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, also known as NASCAR, who are celebrating their 75th anniversary.
My name is Mark Patampa, and this is my story. One summer when I was 13, my mother and sisters took their annual trip to visit family and relatives while I was left in my father's care at home. On the second day of Dad and Lad's summer break, I heard my father's voice as he returned home from work. "Mark, would you like to go see a movie? We'll grab a burger or a hot dog on the way, you and me. What do you say?" Without pausing, I replied, "Sure. What are we going to see?" I was thinking of this new film just out," my father mentioned. That film, that movie, it turned out, was 1 million years BC, starring the iconic Raquel Welch. This sounded great. When I was a kid, I was also a card-carrying dinosaur nut. As early as I can remember, the names of the dinosaurs would rattle off my tongue. Diplodocus, Brontosaurus, Triceratops, Brachiosaurus, Tyrannosaurus Rex, Allosaurus, etc. I had many dinosaur books and toys as well, often staging mock combat between Stegosaur and Tyrannosaur. We walked into the theater as I looked at the promotional movie posters. Raquel Welch wearing a bikini made of fur and hide, described in the film as wearing mankind's first bikini. And the bikini was described as a definitive look of the 60s. Historically speaking, I realized that no cave woman ever looked like this. And my 13-year-old self didn't really care. Hammer Studios' tale of prehistoric times had all the historical accuracy of the Flintstones. This cave people's survival saga unfolded with an odd tone somewhere between a 50s Technicolor Bible epic and a Frankie and Annette beach party flick, or a prehistoric production of Romeo and Juliet by way of Baywatch. Okay, the cave girl fight in the film is just absolutely shameless. I feel more than a little embarrassed watching it now as a 60-year-old adult. I realize now that I was raised in an era of TV and movie pop culture that was barely a step above the dumb savages seen in this movie. However, the dinosaur effects by Harry Harryhausen were particularly impressive. In fact, the film was the gold standard of cinematic dinosaurs in the decades before '93's Jurassic Park. Stop-motion animation gave the creatures a surreal, stroboscopic quality that seemed to punctuate their every step. The music score was exceptional, composed by Mario Nasciabene, one of the best-known Italian film soundtrack composers of the 20th century, with a career spanning 6 decades, composing soundtracks for more than 150 films. If you're willing to leave any and all critical thinking at the cave entrance for 90-odd minutes, 1 million years BC is a little more than a loincloth of a story supported by dramatic dinosaur set pieces. My own enjoyment of 1 million years BC is based on powerful childhood nostalgia, love of Harryhausen's work, and the sheer audacity of its creation. Jurassic Park lives on, with or without Raquel Welch. In the end, the artistry of Harry Harryhausen and Mario Nasciabene inspired me as a musician, artist, and fan to enjoy all the others who have taken the torch to greater heights, such as Steven Spielberg and John Williams. Thank you.
Thank you for that story, Mark. That was great. I'm also a dinosaur nut. So let's listen to the themes from the film Jurassic Park. Did you know that the first film in this series came out 30 years ago? That makes me feel old. let's round these dinosaurs up and get them back in their pens, please. Thank you. Did you know that one of the most photographed natural events in the world is the sunset? Why is that? Poets, philosophers, and songwriters have a lot to say about sunsets. Sunsets are proof that no matter what happens, every day can end beautifully. Don't forget, beautiful sunsets need cloudy skies. Every sunset is also a sunrise. It all depends on where you stand. But it all comes down to this. If you look at the sunset and smile, then you still have hope.
All right, it's my turn. I want to introduce the band a different way right now. Okay, get your instruments ready. Okay, we're starting with the high ones. There are 5 piccolos, 17 flutes, 2 oboes, 2 bassoons, 1 contrabassoon. That big thing over there, yeah. Would you make a noise on that so we can hear what it sounds? Oh, you don't have your mouthpiece yet. Can you get it ready? Okay, we're going to go on and come back to you. There are 18 clarinets. Right there. 2 alto clarinets. And 5 bass clarinets. Okay, are you ready with a noise for that contra thing over there? It rattles really low. Oh yeah. Okay, good. Over here, 1 soprano saxophone. 10 alto saxophones. 4 tenor saxophones. Okay, 3. There are 3 right now. Okay, we had 4 earlier. 4 baritone saxophones. There they are. 1 E-flat trumpet. There it is in the corner. And there should be 15 trumpets. Oh, they're holding them up. Okay, they're getting there. Good. 7 French horns. 10 trombones. 4 baritones and euphoniums. 6 tubas. 1 bass guitar. We have a mallet player on this side. There she goes. And we have a timpani player on this side. There he goes. We have 4 more percussionists. Make some noise. I didn't even need to say that. Okay. And out among you and all around are our 18 band hands taking pictures, announcing, helping, organizing. Awesome, awesome people. Yes. Thank you very much.
And next, we will perform a piece that features those 17 flute players in Flight of the Flutes.
Hi, my name is Mike Mayer, Having just started my 70th orbit on planet here, I can confidently state that the Nevada County Concert Band has given me many great opportunities to learn through travel. For several years, I have driven up from Mountain View for your wonderful invitational band event before the pandemic brought about so many changes in our lives. But I was pleasantly surprised to learn how to work from home and even more, how to play band music from home. I am lucky to be part of Northern California's vibrant grassroots music scene, and our bands were right there leading the way with online concerts and shows these past few years. And now we get to perform in person again. How awesome is that? My experiences at this band event here are captured in the many photos I took, the many friends that I made, and the many memories that I cherish. As a small-town boy from Pennsylvania, playing for hundreds of people in a beautiful grassy park setting, with hot dogs and ice cream in the wings, and lots of families and dogs everywhere, it really does my heart good. I'm feeling grateful as I once again return to your wonderful community for this very laid-back invitational event. Here's to many more years traveling to be with you.
Okay, so thank you, Mike. Please enjoy this next medley tune by the Beatles, and join us in the fun at the sing-along along the moment when we get to Hey Jude, and I think you all know which part I'm talking about. Kind of goes na 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 na. So this is a sing-along.
Because Well, good afternoon, and let me lend my welcome and thank you very much for being here. We certainly do enjoy playing for you. My name is Larry Fowler, and my journey is a little bit different than what you've heard so far. My journey is researching my uncle's World War II experience. As a 4-year-old, I vividly remember meeting my Uncle Willard in 1944, just as he was deploying to England as a P-47 fighter pilot. My family had always told me that his fatal crash occurred over a populated area, and he guided his airplane away from houses to crash in an open field, saving anyone else from injury. And once I became an Army pilot, I began a research project to find out the whole story. My mother gave me a few pictures and some letters that she had from him, and I discovered that unfortunately his personnel file had been destroyed in a fire, so I was unable to get a lot of good information from that. But a visit to Palm Springs Air Museum in 2006 led me to the then president of the P-47 Pilots Association, who in turn put me in contact with my uncle's commanding officer. We met twice at his home in Clovis, California, before he passed away in 2009. He told me about flying combat missions with Willard and what a good pilot he was. I didn't know if he said that just to make me feel good or not, but I found in my research that I found mission reports that proved that they indeed had flown together. About 5 years ago, I traveled to Colchester, England, to visit the Boxted Army Airfield where he was assigned, and I was hosted for the day by the museum curator, who, amongst other things, showed me the crash site. Also, my research led me to two individuals in England who have their own museum in Halesworth, and they provided me with lots of information. They recently published their third book on the 56th Fighter Group in England, and I just received my signed copy from them just a couple of weeks ago. So, in all this research, I accumulated enough to write a book. Now, my motivation was to provide a historical document of Willard's life for family members or anyone else interested in World War II history. I just finished it in May, and my two English friends from Halesworth now have my book in their museum. And I'm so impressed with the English and the way that they keep this World War II history alive. I mean, for good reason. We had a lot of activity over there and kind of saved them. But Anyway, last month I returned to Colchester again to present my book at the 80th anniversary of the 56th Fighter Group at Boxstead. And my book is now in the museum there. I met many family members of pilots who had also served there, who spoke of the courage of these 20-something-year-olds and had developed in facing fear of the unknown and overcoming it. Every day they would take off across the English Channel not knowing whether they would return home alive or not, and many didn't. But those who did more often returned with self-confidence and the attitude that they could be as successful in life as they wanted to be, no matter the odds. And I believe this spirit is present in all of us who set out to achieve our goals, recognizing there may be obstacles along the way, but if we persist, they can be achieved. And by the way, I did accomplish my mission. I did find out about my uncle's final moments on 15 March 1944. He was on his 48th combat mission, taking off from Boxstead heavily laden with ammo and fuel. His engine failed at about 400 feet, causing an uncontrollable spin to the right. So it was just a matter of seconds. So despite all the hard work that this process has opened doors to many friends and acquaintances in the U.S., in England, and Poland. And it was well worth the effort. I've decided now to do research on 2 other pilots of the 56th group. Denise, would you make your way up here, please? Denise? My plan has always been to give each family unit a copy of my book. And my niece is here today, and I'd like to present her with her copy now.
Ahoy! My name is Dudley Gaiman. My wife Teresa speaks through the clarinet, which leaves me as the storyteller of the family, so here goes. Well, today's theme is going places, and one of our favorite places to go is Channel Islands National Park, 300 miles down the coast from San Francisco, where our Catalina 36 cruising sailboat was moored. The goal on one of our voyages was to meet up with some friends at Santa Rosa Island in the islands, and they were on their boat. We were going to meet up and have a good old time. We left in the morning, passed through the Golden Gate as planned, and had perfect sailing all through the day and through the night under a brilliant canopy of stars. By the next afternoon, we were anchored in Morro Bay with a beautiful panorama of mountains, ocean, and clear blue sky. We hadn't been there long when a Catalina 42 pulled in, flying 2 Cal Berkeley battle flags and sporting the name Ex-Cal A Bear. Teresa, who had just come up topside after putting on her Stanford sweatshirt for warmth, stood up and said,
"Oh, hell no."
There were roars of laughter as we realized that the Cal-Stanford rivalry had raised its head in the tranquility of San Simeon Bay. We enjoyed a pleasant dinner that evening, and we sat back in the cockpit and watched the pelican and sea lion show as they demonstrated their various fishing techniques. It was truly dinner theater. The next morning was calm and foggy as we made the short hop to Morro Bay to the guest dock to resupply before leaving the following day for the islands. We hadn't been there long before the Cal guys also pulled into the dock and tied up directly in front of us. We awoke the next morning to beautiful weather. The weather forecast said there was going to be increasing offshore wind, but we were going to Santa Rosa Island and we weren't going to be deterred by some rough conditions. The Cal guys, on the other hand, opted to stay out of the wind and stay close to shore, with their destination being Santa Barbara. We set off in moderate wind. After a while, the wind blew to 30 knots, then it grew to 35 knots. We reduced our sail, but we were still zipping along. The wind was creating steep ocean swell, with breaking waves were crashing over the boat. It was blowing 40 knots, and we were getting close to the windward shore of Santa, whatever it's called, island. San Miguel Island. Aye. The wind was blowing the stinging saltwater spray into our faces, and the gusts sounded like freight trains roaring through. I imagined what would happen if we were blown ashore, if the mast should break, or if we should hit something and lose our rudder. I started wondering whether we'd be able to anchor after midnight in gale force winds. Well, we'd maintained radio contact with the Cal guys, and they reported that there was light wind along the coast by Santa Barbara. It was time for us to change course. After a short sail towards Santa Barbara, the wind died and we had to start our motor. We arrived at the guest dock to find an open space, and we spent the night there catching up on our sleep. We awoke the next morning to beautiful weather, perfect for sailing to the Channel Islands. The rest of the voyage was peaceful, relaxing, and uneventful. We had definitely made the right choice. And what did we learn from all this? Well, first, to damn the torpedoes full speed ahead isn't necessarily the right course to take. And secondly, even Cal guys can sometimes be right.
Any Cal alumni out in the audience? I know there's one there, my dad. All right, So join us as the Nevada County Concert Band embarks on a sailing adventure of its own. This piece is called Windjammer, a voyage aboard a tall ship. Listen as it calls for you to look out to the horizon and imagine the endless possibilities that still await. smell the salt spray from that one. So thank you, Nevada County. Thank you for enjoying the Nevada County Concert Band's concert, Going Places, at Pioneer Park in Nevada City, California. If we have lifted your load and brightened your outlook, then we have accomplished our goal today. And now the band will play, for closing, the America's National March, John Philip Sousa's The Stars and Stripes Forever. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming out and enjoying the show. We're glad to have everybody here. Glad you enjoyed the music. The Nevada County Concert Band's next performance is on Saturday, August 12th at the Nevada County Fair. Then we'll be right back here in Nevada City's Pioneer Park on Sunday, August 27th with the third concert in our Picnic Pop series, which is themed Let Your Hair Down.
That should be a good one.
As always, every concert is different, so come back and hear us again and again. All events are listed in your program or on our website. Soon we'll share pictures and videos from today's concert.